The path I brought you on so far, we're taking that upper path. We could have taught this class in a lot of different ways, but I like handling the technical side of project management first, and you can see that through the upper loop of our project network here, if you will. We're at Chapter 9 in reducing project duration. Next week we'll be flipping over to Chapter 13 to wrap up all the technical side of project management, and then we'll loop back and take a look at some of these socio-cultural aspects of project management, dealing with leadership, teaming, outsourcing, and project closure. So let's begin with Chapter 9. In this chapter we start talking about reducing project duration through the application of additional resources. So imagine a project in which you had all the resources available to you, everything set up to get the job done as fast as possible. And in this particular project, it's building a house. And in the video I'm about to show you, we get to see just that. So think about, before you watch this video, how long you think it would take to build a house. And if we were having a discussion about this, people would guess, if you had all the resources available to you, a couple weeks, 4 weeks. A normal build time on a house is anywhere between 2 and 4 months, depending on resources. So take a look at this next slide and watch how fast a house could be built under the right conditions.
My name is Bonnie. This is my son Jerome and my daughter Jackie. I was with my parents, and you just with your parents, and your life is different from their life, and you move on to different things, because the space and the and crowdedness and everything. When I started working with Habitat, I enjoyed the project so much, and I thought, well, I just keep working and it just paid off tremendously. It's just a blessing to be able to be a part of something as big as this. I didn't think it was going to be this big. 3 hours and 30 minutes. Who knew? Who knew?
Ready. Go! Our official time, 3 hours, 26 minutes, and 34 seconds. The new world's record.
So what do you think of that first video? Sort of surprising on how short it took to build the house. Yes, there's some things you could say about the roof being assembled and that large crane being put on site, but again, we said the only restriction in this project was going to be the technical resources and the physical resources of being able to be in the space that you need to be in to put the carpeting down, put the cabinets in, what have you. So that's not very practical, but you can see what you could do with unlimited resources in terms of accelerating the completion of the project. So let's look at a more practical example. Back in the 90s, there was a little incident out in California, an earthquake, and this video example shows what you can do if you're resourceful in terms of getting a project done as quickly as possible.
January 17, 1994. Los Angeles, the epitome of a city that lives by its roads, was struck by a massive earthquake. Buildings crumbled and roads heaved, buckled, and fell, including the Santa Monica Freeway, the most traveled corridor in the United States. Angelenos were paralyzed.
The interesting thing about natural disasters is that they really force us to come to grips with things that we take for granted. We then can't move from point A to point B, whether it's home to job or home to school, home to market. And then we come to grips with how important transportation is to our daily lives and to our economy.
President Clinton declared rebuilding Los Angeles roads a national emergency. One of the people they put in charge was a burly, plain-spoken contractor from Rancho Cordova named C.C. Myers. He was a man who knew how to get things done. This was a road-building race with stakes like no one had ever seen before. If Myers and his crew could complete the breaks, including one huge bridge, in less than 140 days, they'd pocket $200,000 for every day they saved, and lose $200,000 for every day they went over. Myers was a man who knew how to gamble. Myers began by having his crew put up 26 4,000-watt floodlights so they could work around the clock, shift after shift, with the progress never stopping. To tear down the wreckage, they used a giant machine that looked a lot like a Jurassic raptor, attacking the gnarled concrete and steel. Ready to go into action were giant cranes, drill rigs, loaders, generators, and a fleet of trucks. In an outstanding show of guts, teamwork, and expertise, Myers and his crew finished faster than anyone imagined possible. 74 days ahead of schedule. And Myers earned a bonus of $14.8 million, doubling his original bid. And with the roads up, Angelenos went back to work.